moving up too far is going to be too expensive. I wouldn't be interested in doing that. If I had to move up a couple of spots and Abdul Carter was still there.
All right, let's get to a little bit of football here. Bill Barnwell did an article today about 8 teams that should be looking at either trading up or trading back.
How long did it take you to read that?
I mean, each team
Slow
was its
day for
own volume
Barnwell.
of the encyclopedia.
8 teams, slow day.
But he did not include the Bears in this exercise, but I do want to get your thoughts on the Bears as it pertains to this particular exercise. What would you guys be? Would you be more entertaining towards trading up, trading back, or just kind of staying where you're at right now?
I'd be comfortable staying where they are. I would, because I think there's enough depth on the offensive and defensive line that you can find somebody. I'd be more open to moving back than moving up, and adding another pick, hopefully inside the top 41. You could entice me if you feel like the pass rusher from Penn State, his foot is good to go. You could entice me if he drops far enough to maybe move up a couple of spots to grab him. What, am I crazy for saying that?
Listen.
Like if he's number 2 and the Cleveland Browns are looking to add him to their defense, what a bookend, couple of pass rushers that would be, right?
Myles Garrett, yep.
But what if for whatever reason they go to Shedeur Sanders and he starts to fall and he's available at 6 or 7?
I would say, I feel like the Bears, for what they may want or need, are kind of in no man's land, draft positioning wise. I think they would be better suited up moving up or moving back.
Depending on how things fall, though, I would say.
Sure, yeah, but just the way that things are sort of projecting out here early on, I think they could be in a pretty decent, no man's land for what their situation is. I think drafting at 10, I would much rather not draft at 10 than draft at 10.
That's fair.
Right
I would ask, moving up too far is going to be too expensive. I wouldn't be interested in doing that. If I had to move up a couple of spots and Abdul Carter was still there, I could talk myself into
What did the Eagles give the Bears to move up
fourth round
spot?
Pick.
4th round, that's what I thought. I mean,
I'd do that. Totally.
Now, if
he's available.
If Carter's on the board and you only
we also don't have a 4th round pick this year,
which makes it a little bit more difficult because you're probably not going to be able to move up too many spots. With that, it'd have to be at least a 3rd then for the Bears.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you're sold on him, okay? If you're sold on him, that's a significantly lower price to pay than Trey Hendrickson. Now, Trey Hendrickson eliminates all of the risk. He's, an accomplished NFL pass rusher. If you think this kid's the second coming of Micah Parsons, and all you have to give up truly is one of your 2nd-round pick, or what'd you say, the 3rd-round pick? And you get to keep 39 and 41?
Yeah.
Done.
Well, if you need to move, we're talking moving up 1 or 2 spots, the Bears would have to probably give up a 3rd-round pick.
You wouldn't do that?
No,
you wouldn't give up a 3rd-round pick to move up? Again, I don't have the medical.
Yes. No, I absolutely would. I have a hard time believing, though, that Abdul Carter is going to get anywhere near in range for the Bears to move up.
I'm with you, but we can dream. Would you do that?
Dream, but then
would
again,
you move up?
If he falls, the only reason he's falling is because of bad medicals. And then you have to...
Guys fall all the time. Warren Sapp fell to what?
But why, though? Why? Because smoking pot. That's a little different than, we're concerned about your foot because of a broken bone,
Get him a new foot. You were going to replace Braxton or Will Campbell's arms with Braxton Jones's...
35-inch arms, man.
Get him another foot.
Frankenstein
Look, if you think that this is going to be a Sam Bowie, situation for the extended period of time, then the answer is no. That's why the disclaimer was, if you're comfortable with the foot.
Is that why the Sam Bowie was a bad pick, because he had bad feet, or was it because they just chose not? They took
that too. But didn't Sam Bowie have a history of horrible?
He did,
feet
but wasn't
problems?
it more that they were passing on Michael Jordan?
Yeah, it's more an Oden thing over Durant.
You think Sam Bowie would have been a better player pick than Jordan?
Greg Oden. Okay, whatever. It's a foot conversation. That's what we're talking about.
It's a bad player conversation.
Carm's on line 1 right now.
Yeah. So what would you give? Charlie, are you giving up a 3rd-round pick to move up a couple of spots for Abdul Carter?
Yeah, definitely. I do think the asking price for Abdul Carter would be more for
would be more than it was for Jalen Carter, though. I do think there would be more teams interested in Abdul Carter just because the red flags with Jalen Carter were such that only a handful of teams probably felt comfortable taking that risk, like the Eagles, who had that established locker
Not if he's got a bad paw, Charlie. A couple bad paws.
Listen, come on now. Like
bad hoof.
Again, I'm a few credits shy of my medical degree as well, as not just my legal degree. You're gonna. Didn't the kid come back and play in the in the college playoff?
He did with
it was a different injury.
Yeah, that was a shoulder.
Okay,
yeah.
So but he played, right?
Yeah. So, let's take him off the table because there's the medical stuff. What if it's Mason Graham? And
I would do that as well.
You have to go 10-7 or 10-6.
What am I giving up?
10-7, you might be able to do it for a third, but I don't know, man. You start going 3 or 4 picks in the top 10, it might have to be a second based on the draft value chart that
you better hope at that point that he's.
I don't want to give up one of their seconds. The Bears have too many needs.
Well, you said a third, right?
I said if you start getting to like 6, if you have to move up to 6 from 10.
To go to 10-7 for a guy that like doesn't have a lot of non-playing concerns.
You're okay giving up a second. I don't think you can get from.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be a third.
It's going to be one of those seconds.
So a third would get you, like, if you're going off of the chart value.
Yes.
So you're exchanging
that could get you to 7 for a third.
So 10-7 with it. So you swap
a pick
picks
swap and you get a third.
Okay. All right. If you can do that, I'd be down with it. But I don't want to give up a second. So, like, if you have to go all the way up to 5 or 6, it's going to cost you a second. One of those 2s. You know what I'm saying?
At that point,
I
don't want to give up one of your top 41 picks.
I'd give up a third for that. If you again, I mean, I think he's a fantastic player. If they feel the same way, to swap picks and give up a third for a guy that you didn't expect to be there, I definitely consider that.
Even still, like if you're a team that had 5 wins a year ago, I know we still feel really good about the direction this team is going, but like I just kind of don't believe in trading up in the draft unless it's for a quarterback. Like that's just my personal ethos. Maybe I'd be able to you'd be able to sell me on doing that for like Abdul Carter or something, but like as exciting as of a prospect that Mason Graham is, like at the end of the day, more picks is probably more picks has a lot of value than just one pick in the top 10.
I'd be more open to trading back than trading up.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I guess the point I'm making is I wouldn't close the door on anything. Because they do have money, they've got draft currency, and they have done some work to this point.